There are moments in sports that defy every single expectation, moments where the rankings on a piece of paper suddenly mean absolutely nothing, and nobody sent Alex Eala that memo. Picture this, a charged, electric Wednesday night in Toronto. The air is thick with anticipation, and the tension in the venue is almost palpable. Step by step, the 21-year-old dynamo from Quezon City walks out onto the court, locking eyes with one of the most dangerous servers in the entire history of women's tennis. What happens next isn't just a win, it is a masterclass in composure, grit, and raw athletic brilliance. In straight sets, lasting just 1 hour and 12 minutes, she completely shuts down the opposition and silences every single doubt lingering in the tennis world. Right now, as you're sitting there watching this unfold, Eala stands just one victory away from a massive prize pool and a moment that could permanently rewrite the history books of Philippine sports forever. The crowd inside the stadium didn't just buy tickets to see a standard tennis match, they came to witness history in the making, and Eala did not disappoint for a single second. But to truly understand why this victory hit so differently, why the passionate Filipino community inside that arena erupted the way they did, you have to rewind the tape all the way back to January at the Australian Open first round. On that day, it was Alicia Parks versus Alex Eala. Eala stormed right through the opening set with a dominant 6-0 scoreline, looking every bit like a rising star ready to announce her arrival on the Grand Slam stage in the most emphatic way imaginable. But then, Parks flipped the switch. She mounted a fierce comeback, clawing her way back into the match, fighting through every grueling rally, and ultimately closing it out 6-3, 6-2. It wasn't just a tough loss. It was the kind of soul-crushing defeat that creeps deep into your mind, making you question your place at the elite level. Most players would carry that heavy mental baggage around for months, letting it weigh them down. But Eala? She processed it completely differently. She took that loss and turned it into a target list. Ever since that heartbreaking afternoon in Melbourne, she has systematically hunted down and defeated 6 consecutive opponents who had previously gotten the better of her. 6 straight acts of pure, undeniable redemption. It's a revenge tour so relentless, so hyper-focused, that it has quietly become the defining narrative of her entire campaign. And when Parks walked onto that court in Toronto, she had no idea she was about to become number 7 on that relentless hit list. Now, let's look at why this win was so technically astounding, because it was far more than just a notch in the win column. Alicia Parks actually shares the record for the fastest serve ever officially recorded in WTA history, a staggering 129 miles per hour, scorched across the court at the 2021 US Open. It is a serve so brutally violent that it frequently ends points before the rallies even have a fighting chance to breathe. It is the ultimate weapon, the exact powerhouse tactic that overwhelmed Eala back in Melbourne and has left world-class returners utterly frustrated for years. Standing at 6'1", Parks is built entirely for first-strike power tennis, and when that first delivery is firing on all cylinders, she is nearly unplayable. Yet, Eala came to Toronto with a completely different chess match in mind. From the very first return game, she planted herself aggressively inside the baseline, taking the ball early, robbing Parks of precious reaction time before the shot could fully explode off the surface. She flat-out refused to let her opponent settle into any kind of comfortable rhythm. And whenever that terrifying first serve missed its mark, Eala pounced on the second delivery without an ounce of hesitation, without mercy, and without a single moment of passivity. The cold, hard numbers back up what the naked eye could clearly see. Eala won an incredible 63.3% of points on Parks's second serve. Just pause and think about what that actually means for a moment. Every single time Parks missed her primary weapon, the foundation her entire game is built around, she was practically handing Eala a golden invitation to seize total control of the point. Eala broke Parks's serve twice in the opening set alone, converting 4 out of 9 breakpoint opportunities across the entire match. When the dust finally settled, the scoreboard read 6-3, 6-4. Clean, clinical, and utterly dominated from start to finish. The contrast in playing styles made the spectacle even more compelling. On one side, you had Parks, explosive, towering, and built to overwhelm through sheer, unadulterated force. On the other side, you had Eala, standing at 5'7", left-handed, moving fluidly like water across the court, utilizing precise angles, stellar court coverage, and relentless consistency to systematically dismantle everything Parks tried to construct. Raw, thunderous power met surgical precision, and precision walked away the victor. Around the stadium, the crowd, overwhelmingly Filipino, roared with deafening approval on every single winner Eala struck. This wasn't just a casual tennis audience enjoying a summer evening out, this was a proud community watching one of their own achieve a dream they had all believed in long before the official rankings finally caught up to her talent. When you zoom out and take a look at everything Eala has managed to accomplish, the full picture borders on the surreal. We are talking about 8 massive wins against top 10 players this year alone. Victories over reigning Olympic gold medalists, defending Grand Slam champions, and formidable world top 3 talents. Add to that her historic first-ever WTA title just weeks prior at the DC Open in Washington, where she stood tall as the champion and left the global tennis community scrambling to completely reassess their ceiling for her potential. Couple that with a career-high world ranking inside the top 20, and now, a deep, fearless run at the Canadian Open, one of the most prestigious tournaments on the entire WTA calendar outside of the Grand Slams, boasting a massive multi-million-dollar prize pool and crucial ranking points waiting for the last player standing. To put those ranking points into proper perspective, she earned 500 points during her triumphant run in Washington. This tournament doubles that exact stakes. A deep run here doesn't just bump her standing up a few notches, it fundamentally reshapes her entire career trajectory. It pushes her further past the $2 million mark in career prize money and alters what the world expects from Philippine tennis for an entire generation to come. The local community certainly understood the assignment, turning out in massive numbers across the Greater Toronto area. With tickets completely sold out, the venue transformed into something that felt infinitely more like a joyful homecoming celebration than a traditional, quiet tennis match. Eala could feel every ounce of that energy radiating from the stands. Reflecting on the electric atmosphere afterward, she shared with a warm smile, "It's nice to see that the Filipino community is really showing up. They're enjoying tennis, and hopefully, it will help grow the sport as well." But beneath that simple smile lay a deep, unmistakable weight, a profound awareness that what she is executing on that court carries a significance reaching far beyond individual match stats and oversized novelty checks. Now, this is precisely where the narrative sharpens into something truly cinematic. Because standing directly between Alex Eala and the ultimate prize is Linda Noskova, the reigning Wimbledon champion, current world number 7, and the formidable Czech powerhouse who previously handed Eala 2 tough losses earlier this season, including a surgical 6-2, 6-4 dismantling in Berlin just weeks before Eala turned things around in Washington to lift her first career trophy. During that Berlin showdown, Noskova fired off 33 winners while committing a mere 15 unforced errors. That isn't just playing good tennis, that is the kind of masterclass performance that ruthlessly exposes every single microgap in an opponent's game and exploits them without mercy. In their previous encounters, Noskova converted an astonishing 83% of her first serve points against Eala. She has a proven formula, and she knows the exact blueprint required to break Eala down. However, there is a glaring flaw with relying on that old formula now, and it is a massive one. The Alex Eala that Noskova faced in Berlin simply does not exist anymore. The player touching down in Toronto has evolved exponentially. She is a player who has tasted the sweet nectar of a WTA title since that loss. She has climbed to a career-high ranking since that loss. She has defeated 5 players holding prestigious Grand Slam titles in a single tournament stretch since that loss. She has built an incredible 6-match winning streak featuring some of the most mentally tough, awe-inspiring individual performances of her entire professional life. The transformation from her days in Berlin to her current form in Toronto isn't just a minor adjustment, it is a complete metamorphosis. Undeniably, Noskova will step onto the court for any potential rematch as one of the most dangerous, respected competitors on the entire tour. But she will also be locking horns with an entirely different version of Eala, one she has never encountered before. A competitor who knows deep in her bones what it feels like to conquer the highest levels of the sport, and who no longer carries a single trace of hesitation when the pressure cooker starts to heat up. A victory over the reigning Wimbledon champion wouldn't merely represent the biggest win of Eala's remarkable career. It would serve as an unmistakable declaration sent straight to every corner of the WTA locker room: this young Filipina isn't just riding a temporary hot streak, she is methodically building a lasting dynasty. The path is officially set, the grand stage is fully prepared.